This is brilliant. So, yeah, the stream sound was off, so I did the stream introduction only for the recorded version, which is brilliant. Now we've got audio. Everything went wrong today. It's impossible, man. But, okay, wait, quick rundown in one sentence. Veltman and Justin, good positions. Sam spun. Ruben and Marius, bad positions, but they can still win. 57 minutes to go. That's where we are. Now we've got sound as well. That's great. My God.
Well, yes. Good evening, stream. Welcome to... Yeah, welcome to... Well, 56 minutes ago of the, I think, 75 minutes.
Yeah.
75. Of this, extended, race. But yeah, it's...
Oh! Ruben has just been tapped, but he's not spun. But that probably puts some damage on the rear of his car and might open up an opportunity for Savickas. It does not, but Müller is getting very impatient behind the Honda here while he's got another Honda right in his rearview mirror. So that is a spicy battle group, but I think with that mistake, Ruben might finally have gotten the chance to check out, and that is so important. He's got the 4-second gap to Chris Stricker, which he needs to close desperately. Now Müller with a big mistake, and Marius is going to seize the opportunity into turn 5. No, he darts to the inside, pulls back, tucks in, and decides not to go for it. He's going to wait it out. But he kind of needs to get a move on. Now the gap between Chris and Ruben, 4.8 seconds. And plenty of time to do it. But he probably also needs some cooperation from Veldman, aka a bottle, and Veldman is not really in a position where he has to push. He can just chill in second.
The fight between Müller and Ruben was getting a little bit personal, but yeah, in comes Müller. Is the pits for the, I believe, the first row to make a pit stop. Of course, with this extended format, strategy is a bit more varied, so you know he can get away with a stop like this. But yeah, I think that's going to be a good bit of pressure off of Ruben's shoulders right now in P6.
Yep, and we're gonna keep an eye on the lap times, of course, and the delta to Chris, because yeah, that's what's gonna decide how he does. And now Müller is in the pit lane. I don't know if you mentioned that, and he is getting himself into clear air, which is probably a good move, considering just how much they've been fighting, and that just costs you so much time. Now he's finally out of there, and doesn't need to worry. And we've got a fight between Ben Loos and Antoine Olivet for P10. Well, it is technically P11 because Müller has pitted, so after the pit stops, they'll be in fighting for 11th. Antoine getting stuck a little bit. Also, we've not had a Mills no moment so far. I'm just saying, you know, it's already 20 minutes and we haven't had one. Now Azalin probably he does not cover the inside. They're just they're just driving Madison into turn 10. No offense by any driver against any other. And on the last sector, it looks as though I think Ruben gained some time on Chris, so he should be faster. Just is it enough? That's the big one.
Yeah, the race is becoming a bit more quiet right now as everyone's relatively strung out, because we've got that Lord Olivet Azalin trio, which Sam is of course trying to patch after his earlier spin, and he has done quite nicely actually on that lap, end of second, down to 4.4 between the Lambo and the Aston Martin. But yeah, speaking of lap times, Ruben is not really very quick right now. He did a 45.5 last time around, so he was closed in 4/10 by Marius and has also missed a second to the top two, and if not a little bit more for Elena. So I think it's not looking good to him right now on raw pace, and I mean, you know, qualifying P7 we kind of saw that a little bit, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not seeing super encouraging signs from him right now.
Yeah, another one is that right now he's actually just under attack from P2 in silver class. Like, if you want to win pro class, you gotta be able to beat P2 in silver class, I'm afraid. Right now, I mean, he is ahead, but Marius is looking pacey, and it looks like Marius has not given up all hope yet. Justin, of course, less experienced driver than Veld, so if I had to, you know, put money on who would bottle it more, Veld or Justin, I would go for Justin, because he just does not have he does not have 8 full seasons under his belt. Well, technically 9 after this one. So, you know, Marius, if he can get himself into a good spot, it could still matter. And that is essentially just what this will be. Can the two up front keep it together? Can the guys here on screen put any pressure on them? Right now, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, the complete risk of commentators cursing Vogtman. He is looking good right now. He is 3.9 seconds behind Egner, and he's got a lovely cushion back to Justin. So I wouldn't say the pressure is on his shoulders right now, especially considering it's his teammate ahead of him. And yeah, Sam, I kind of get the impression that there's not much pressure on him right now, because it's all kind of come undone for him almost straight away. And so, was Ruben off the track? He's lost the rear end in a very similar way to Stappen at the weekend. That's not helping him out.
Yeah, plenty of drivers. Well, not plenty. Sainz and Verstappen, yeah. Good call. He has done that, and now he is behind Marius. Marius up to 6th, which would usually just be a great one in silver class. Just Justin is on a different level right now. He's sitting 3rd, and I don't think he can do anything about it. And Ruben, I mean, I say he doesn't seem to care much about the title, just from looking at his playtime, but from watching him on the track, he does seem to care. He is determined to not lose another title or to not come 2nd again in the final round. And right now, I don't think that determination is gonna be enough. He makes the mistakes, and he's got the disadvantage just after qualifying already, and now the race is not going his way either. Also, just as a quick aside, of course, Sam, he got spun on lap 1 for the stream viewers. Got re-ended by, I believe it was Asselin, trying to go for a cutback. It was a pretty silly thing, but his chances weren't bad anyways. Needed to win. And then Veldman and Ruben needed to be P6 or worse. And that wasn't gonna happen. Now Visser looking to go for a move in. I think he's just gonna pull that one off. Also up front we can see side by side, and that is Antoine finally making the move on Benlos. That has been long coming, and it has happened after all.
Yeah, that whole trio is properly going at it. As yeah, Sam closing into that was a group. I think he's been passed by Visser, so that's not what he wants to see. But yeah, he's caught up quite quickly to them. But yeah, you know, as you were saying, that it doesn't particularly matter where he does get to. It's just kind of interesting to see where he will go. Of course, closing back in on Asselin already, even though it was Asselin that spun him around. So that shows the kind of pace that he does have, and is, you know, kind of makes it even more of a what could have been kind of situation, because he's clearly got very, very good pace.
Yep. And wait, is Chris catching Jakob? No. I'm seeing ghosts.
Yeah, I mean, Bellman he's dropping off of Maligna's tail quite a lot, actually. Gap's gone up to 4.8 seconds from about 3.5 before. But Justin isn't really catching him, so he's still got that pace advantage over, of course, who is technically a silver class driver. Of course, not to be degrading in any way, but you know, you expect him to be faster, and he more or less is. So yeah, it's in his hands right now. It's under his control. But we've seen things go wrong before, and you know, he just needs to make sure that he keeps it all nice and tidy on the road.
Yeah, I mean, he has. Now I'm tempting fate. He has bottled it twice at Alton Park. Like, yeah, I think both of them just completely on his own threw it off the road. The difference is there he was pushing for pace against drivers that were just clearly faster than him at that point. And today he is He's got the pace he needs to have. He's got the gap he needs to have. So that's different. He can control it. He can drive in a way where you're not completely on the edge. Where if the car does something unexpected, you can just like lift off. You know, take the L, lose like 3/10 and not die. He's in a position where he can afford to do all of these things. So I don't know if he will bottle. I wouldn't wish it. I wouldn't wish it on him. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a promising position, and what a what a story it would be. Just because I think he needed to wait like 5 seasons for his first win, and then he just became the guy who won Donington a few times, and now this season suddenly come alive, and now he's challenging for this, and now I'm really tempting for it. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, let's not forget that that this will be his first championship. If he can win it, of course, it would be Ruben. Would it be Ruben's first as well?
Yes.
Yeah, not his first. I mean, he's had a fair few successes in the Constructors' Championship, but nothing in driver standing as of yet for him. But yeah, let's also not forget that Alton Park is a very, very different track to here. You could argue that up with Bathurst, it's probably the most difficult track in the game. And of course, Barcelona is a very different beast in that sense. It's a lot flatter, a lot, there's a lot more runoff, a lot more room for error. So, the kind of mistakes that we might have seen from him last week was that I guess unnecessarily representative for an ongoing trend. It's very different situation as you mentioned, and yeah, he just needs to play cool. He's doing that, I think, right now. He's just the back of it a little bit more, but I mean, yeah. On that note, of course, Iglner is doing a very good job right now.
Absolutely.
No matter what the situation is with the car behind him, he's still got a very nice gap, and no mistakes from him at all. So pole position and the lead, it's not bad.
Yeah, Ligner is kind of like just not giving us much reason to talk about himself in a positive way. What I mean to say is, he's not giving us any reason by doing really well. There's no real talk about him maybe being caught by anyone. He's just, he's basically completely free from pressure. On the road and also in the standings, he can just try and get a good result. He can try and win a race again. But it's just looking absolutely great for him with the buffer. And there's not much more to say. He's faster than Veldman. He's faster than Justin. He's just driving his own race, and for his sake, I would wish that we just don't have to, or that we don't show him again this race, because that would mean a flawless drive, which would be nice from him after all of this time where he has been very shaky. I think like 2 seasons or something he hasn't won. It's been a rough one for him, so ending it in this way could be good. And also, this is a little bit. Well, it's not superstitious, but it's not real analysis. But I always have a feeling that it's a common theme in like some championships that that there's always like a guy who like comes alive in the final race, just takes a win, and then that's like usually a guy that suddenly puts himself into the championship fight for the next season. I think I've seen that plenty of times happen plenty of times, and with this performance so far, he's showing everyone that he's still driving. He hasn't really gotten good results in latest times, but he has got the potential, and maybe next season, he can try and give us a Hamilton-Rosberg situation with Veld at the front. Who knows?
Yeah, wouldn't mind another contender entering the fray. But yeah, to turn attention kind of away from that top 2. Right now, Lawson and Olive are right next to each other. Lawson's actually almost pushing Olive through the middle sector hairpin as Aslan goes a bit wide, allowing Visser to have a look, and I'm going to assume go down the inside. Yeah, pretty equal on the brakes. Yeah. Not really much going there for Visser. Needs to be careful on the apex, but yeah, that was a kind of a half-hearted dive there. But yeah, Sam hasn't really managed to catch up before this little fight, which is quite interesting that his pace is kind of curtailed. If it could be any damage from earlier or not sure. Yes, Ruben comes into the pits.
Yep, and I was gonna say, that would be a gigantic jinx now, but of course one thing that can happen is the pit entry. I'm sure, I have a feeling Veltman will just lose like a second entering the pits. But now Visser is probably going for the move on Azalin. He's tucked into the slipstream, he's got the inside line. He needs to make it work on the brakes though, because that's not, the top speed wasn't good enough, and it's not enough. Oh my god, Azalin just, I think, clips the inside curb there, completely sideways, sweeps across the track, almost takes Visser out, but both of them actually fine eventually. Now Visser goes deep, and that might open him up to Sam, who, you know, is still on a charge. It's not gonna matter at all for the championship, but he's technically going. Commentators curse much. Yeah, I mean, look at it. We're desperate. Like, we need the commentators curse. So.
Yeah, well, lovely avoidance there from Visser. The Mercedes of Aslan kind of doing Mercedes things, touching the curb and very, very nearly going for a spin. So, very well avoided from him there. But yeah, there's not too much action right now in the back. Of course, you've got this little trio, and then the battle between Lawson and Olive. But apart from that, everyone's pretty strung out. It's kind of become a very typical Barcelona race.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, because overtaking is not like it's not like Alton Park or something where overtaking is really, really hard. But it's sort of tough, but you can do it, I feel. Maybe it's like comparable to Kalamia. Because I think it's got one of those straights where it's really hard to follow someone closely onto it, and then you get a pretty long straight, but you have to still do a lot of work in the brakes, and well, maybe Visser doesn't need to do work on the brakes, because that was a really nice final corner. He pulls to the inside line. I don't think he is alongside much. No, actually, completely side by side, and that should be it, unless he overshoots it. He does not, so up to 10th for him. Comes out on top in this fight, though, of course, Müller and Ruben have pitted, so that's 2 positions they will lose as soon as they go to the pit lane. So it's not actually for top 10.
Yeah, it's a bit deep from Visser into turn 1. Walter's getting the move done on Aslan makes a little mistake going wide, giving Sam a sniff, but he gets far better exit on that line, so he's safe for now. But yeah, nice move from Visser on the brakes, relatively straightforward, I guess. But the block on Aslan coming out of turn 2, which was very nicely done, and yeah, he's looking good actually. I'm not sure if he did start last, because he's got a very good habit of not qualifying, so whether he did that or not, I'm not sure. But if he did, then lovely stuff after P10 already.
Absolutely. And I wonder if Sam can get this one done with nothing to lose. There's no reason not to go all out. I mean, you know, the only way he wins is absolute miracle. I mean, like, it's basically mathematically impossible. He needs so much to happen, so there's absolutely no reason to play any sort of long game. Just get past everyone you can get, and that's why I expect him to be very aggressive, maybe also on the brakes. But that was a pretty poor final sector, I think, or at least like the final few corners weren't good enough. So there's not gonna be an opportunity for an attempt on this lap at least. Now Oliver's gone into the pit lane, so he's trying to rid himself of Ben Lewis, who's been a nuisance to him. And that should give him the clear air needed to try and use his pace.
It Mills also into the pit stop with Noppen behind. The 2 Lamborghinis teammates actually coming into the pits at the same time. But yeah, Oliver kind of getting out of the little battle he had there with Lewis, so I guess going for the undercut, trying to get the clear now, to then push forwards and hopefully for him jump his rival. Well, actually, I just heard Mills jumping forwards before he went back up on the track, so I wonder if he overshot that, so that could affect him within his fight with Noppen. Of course, Noppen was about 2 seconds behind him when he came into the pits, so whether there will be anything come of that, I am not sure, but clean stop for Oliver as he gets away nicely, as yeah, Noppen out of the pits and Mills still stationary.
I wonder what the small version of a Mills no would be.
Yeah. Oh, there's a big Mills no.
Mate! No! Oh my god!
He had a bit of a mare in the pit lane, that's for sure.
Oh my god! How does it happen every single time? This man is cursed. It's... we haven't had that one in a while, so, you know. He's just a creative kind of guy. Comes up with something new every week.
He overshot it by quite a lot as well. He's like 20, 25, maybe 30 Ks over the way into the pit lane. So yeah, not what he would want, as that will more or less take him out of contention of any good position.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about Mills because he has some, like, when he shines, he can shine really bright. It's just like, it's my belief, if you can be amazing for like 20 minutes, then there is obviously the skill set that you can also be amazing for 1 hour. It's just that for some reason it's just never 1 hour. It's always something happens, and I wonder if he has enough time to like try and progress on that front. It would be nice because he's a really nice guy, and I would like to see him do well. But so far, you know, he's just giving us some proper memes every week, and now he's gonna have some company at the back of the grid as Babatovic also exits the pit lane. And now Chris Stricker has gone straight on in turn 1, so something happened here, probably technical, or I don't know, or real life emergency, but he's just gone off, and no bueno.
Yeah, it was the pit and everything. It looked alright, but then he just pulled off. I don't know if he made a mistake in the pit lane with not refueling, not changing tyres, because that stuff is very easy to do. But I'm not really sure what he's done. He's definitely out there because he's returned straight back to the garage, so no more running from him, as yeah, now also into the pit lane.
Yeah, Oliver also completely successful on his attempt to get away from Lewis. It's a 2.7 second gap. The only problem now is that Babatovic is in front of him, and Oliver all of the back there. It's just that Babatovic obviously has to pit because of that stop go 30, and as soon as he does that, Anton will be fine, though Babo not looking keen on just giving this up, so maybe Antoine's undercut work gets ruined by this. Who knows? The Nissan is a big boy, so passing it is pretty tough.
Yeah, another strategy news. Justin has lost a fair bit of time actually as Diakowski came out right on his tails. He's having a little bit of a weave trying to break the toe down the main straight. That Lexus is an absolute bullet in a straight line, so I'm not sure he'll need to get his elbows out this time round, but I have a feeling a move might not be too far away for Diakowski.
Maybe. Of course, it's not enough to threaten him at all in the title race, but if he's got Diakowski there, then that is of course a risk, just since it is a driver in overall. He wants that podium, and he will fight for it, I'm sure. And for Justin, you know, having contact would probably lose him a title. And he can't afford to have that happen, so he needs to be very careful in this fight. This is kind of spooky.
Yeah, Bowman also into the pits now. Let's hope that he can make any errors to his compatriots. Yeah, I just went back to the replay to see where he braked, and he was very, very early on the pit limiter, which, to be honest with you, I do not blame him for, especially considering the issues back at Imola, with more or less all of them having the same kind of issues in the pit lane.
Yeah, I would enter it like a grandmother enters the Tesco parking lot. That's how I would, you know, appear in the pit lane if I'm in the situation Veldman is in right now, because speeding in the pit lane was essentially the only thing that could, or not the only thing, but one of the more reliable things for to lose in this race, and he's completely avoided that by being careful. Iligna's got a good gap. We saw him pass earlier, but you know, they are just on. Well, they are just really happy together now, right now, probably in the Fast Forward Racing voice chat. One of them is probably getting a race win, the other one probably getting a championship win, unless I can, you know, intervene. I'm gonna check my PayPal for a moment to see if someone, you know, has reacted to the offer I made earlier on chat. Any commentators' curses?
Yeah, it's all going pretty swimmingly right now at the top. As I realised Ruben's come out of the pits back behind Muller, so I do have a feeling that might continue. That's all 1v1.
Wait. Now I feel bad. I've made two. I've made €2.5 with commentators' curses. I don't know. Okay, wait. Well, I've held the speech for Veld earlier. I guess that's it. Ryan Noppen has donated to me so I can help Ruben. Legend.
Well, yeah, we've got a good fight for the opportunity, so...
I mean, I tried. I held the speech about the story it would be. You know, it's you know, we're all gonna have to make a living out here. You should probably look into. You should look into how you can like use your skills as a commentator or your position, or I mean, you write articles on the SimGrid. Maybe you can you know, swing some championship fights by doing some commentator's curse and make some money with it. Should look into it. It's a very serious business, as we're finding out. Oh god. Well, I'm gonna put it like that. I've done my I've done what I can to. Oh my god, Azalin. He spooked me there because I was watching because I just saw it pop up at the top and I thought maybe it's Savitskas who, you know, is in a championship fight, or Illigna who's in race winning position. But it's neither of them. It is Azalin, which is still tragic, but he wasn't in as good of a place as the others.
Asselin was oh so quick last season, but we've not really seen the same kind of pace from him this time around, which is somewhat surprising considering he's in the same car, and I don't think much has changed on his side.
Is. I think he was in a BMW, right?
Oh.
Or was he?
I thought he was in the Mercedes still, but I could well be wrong.
I think he was... Wait. Who was the other Lightning McQueen car? He was a Lightning McQueen car, and I'm pretty sure that was a BMW. But
I shall eat my words in that case.
but it is weird. I've thought about it as well, because last season he was like the guy who I thought was gonna be the next big thing, like on the upward, maybe challenging Sam in season 9, and then suddenly Veld pops out of nowhere and is on course for it right now, while Azalin has got a bunch of finishes outside of the top 8. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, if he was in the BMW last season, then this is a wildly different car for him. So that could well be one of the things. As Ruben right now, right on the tail of Muller, almost shoving him through the last chicane. So I wonder if this one might get a little bit personal. Was Oliver actually behind?
Oh, this is so spooky. Might get a 3 wide moment, and Oliver actually really close to the pit maneuver here, and he's going really deep, and he completely murders Muller, and that is probably the best thing that could happen for Ruben there. Oh my god, that was a disaster. Gonna check the replay of that right now. Could see that one coming from miles, but I thought it was gonna be Antoine and Ruben, and then, you know, he gets one move, but then the other one not happening. That is completely on Antoine, unfortunately. I have to say Muller gets punished for existing there, and rejoins the circuit between Loos and Visser. And also now, of course, Loos is caught up to Antoine again. I mean, Antoine deserves that one, but the gap he has built up has completely disappeared again.
Yeah, I thought Antoine was actually going to be alright there, and it was either going to be a perfectly executed move or exactly what you've just seen happen. But nice reactions from Ruben actually to not pick up any damage in that. He slammed the brakes on and very nicely avoided crashing in sympathy for the other two. So yeah, nicely done from him, which is exactly the kind of thing that he needs to be doing for his championship hopes.
Also, just reading chat, so we've got WTF, why Ben's so bad? That's just VVDL love. I mean, that's basically all there is to it. We've also got Chris saying, name a better duo, Chris and fucking up pit lanes. I'm sure I can come up with better duos, but that one's pretty strong, and I assume that's what happened in turn 1. Because, I mean, that's the one thing that would explain an exit in turn 1. You don't crash there on your own. And to Bailey attempt 3, yes, this is the 3rd time I've tried to stream this race, and now it's finally stable and working, and I have no idea why. And for some reason now, maybe someone, you know, is watching this back and knows something about, like, technology and, like, internet stuff. But for some reason, every time my internet is really bad and I can't stream, like, a common factor seems to be that there's a thunderstorm going on. But it makes absolutely no sense, because I mean, I don't use Wi-Fi. And it's all cabled, so why? I was like, that makes no sense. Is it just a coincidence? Because the thing that happened, the only thing that changed between the race start, where I couldn't stream because it was too choppy, and now, is that the thunderstorm stopped. It's the only thing that changed. I'm really confused by this. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But yeah.
Meanwhile, Aslan very nicely getting out of the way of both Justin and Diakovsky, as you know, he's still yet to make a pit stop. So very sportsmanship kind of move there from him to get out of their way to let them do battle. But yeah, slight mistake from Diakovsky in the last chicane has put him off the tail of the Audi. Yeah, those two were kind of inseparable before that little error from him. But yeah, with 26 minutes to go, I'm not sure if Highway might be starting to be playing a factor.
Yeah, and, you know, Azalin, second visit in the pit lane, but first pit stop of the race, and he's the last one to do it. So now on the timing tower, we can see the battles that are gonna be flat out till the end of this 26 minutes to go. And Diakovsky Justin looks like it's gonna be one of the most exciting. Though, of course, we've got Anton and Ruben, I mean, he's probably accepted he's accepted the circumstances. At this point, he cannot do anything out of his own power. Like, he needs a giant mistake out of Veld, actually. It needs to be gigantic. Wait, what's the gap between... The gap between Ruben and Marius is also absolutely huge, so something's gone wrong there. I don't know what it was, if it was pit lane. So for the commentators, cursing has not helped. I think I have to give Ryan a refund.
Yeah, the front though, Illigno is setting some blistering out times. He's been in the 43.9s for, I think, 2 laps in a row. As he comes across the line now, he's done a 44.2 that lap. So yeah, he's been very, very quick today, and yeah, still got purple fastest lap. Got cars like Ruben, who's best is a 44.4 compared to, you know, that's half a second quicker at best for Illigno. So yeah, I don't think Ruben has particularly had the pace today. I think he's just kind of lacked a general advantage. But yeah, the Audi is meant to be strong here, so that may well have played into the two fast forward racing drivers' hands.
And I really wonder, like, who's gonna challenge next season. It's weird, because, like, Ruben is such a mixed bag. I don't know if he can be there next season. Of course, earlier this season we're at that moment where I said that he's kind of the Sam Bird of 2S, because he wins like one-off races in most seasons, and then he just never wins the title. And he said he's not, and they basically just said he's not that. But this is another title he doesn't win in a season where he's won some races, and I wonder, like, if the consequence for him is gonna be to just put the hours in and grind it out. Right now he's probably, out of the title fight, certainly the one with the least amount of practice, and I'm sure he has the potential to just be up there if he finds the motivation, if he finds the time, and is committed. And I want to see it. I hope he does it. It's just, you know, right now it's not happening, and Veldman, I don't know if he can hold on to this, because I mean, it's not like, well, it's not like Rupert or Carsten or you when you won your title, where the likely champion is just clearly the fastest. It's just, you know, the guy who gets the best results in the races in this case. And there's plenty of guys who are comparable, or like who are capable of finishing ahead in races against Veld. But, you know, this season no one has done more consistent than him, so I really wonder what next season's gonna bring. Now, of course, I'm treating this as if Veld had already won the title, but that is only because I got PayPal to Competizione, so, you know.
Yeah, no, you're very much.
Oh, wait, there's a fight while I'm rambling on. We've got Justin and Diakovsky side by side through turn 3 into 4 now. Justin trying to hang it around the outside. He's fighting for his first podium, and if things go wrong, he could lose a championship position in silver class. So he needs to chill a little bit, and I think he does. He gives up that position. So Diakovsky on course for second podium of the season if he can hold this. 22 minutes to go. Has been faster. Justin not happy though, he's flashing his lights. I don't really know why, I didn't see anything wrong, but also camera angle was pretty scuffed. And also wait, Ruben and Antoine have got to be really close. Loos is under threat, and yeah, Antoine has passed Ruben.
Yeah, I kind of. Well, actually, I think Ruben's dropped behind both of them. I don't think Lewis was leading that train. So I'm going to go diving through the replay, see what I can find. But yeah, that's that kind of who will be next up in the standings. Yeah, you're right that there's not really been one particular person, which I just seen that there's some contact actually between Anton and Ruben, which I don't think is going to be looked on all too kindly, and but he did do the gentlemanly thing and let Olivier back through, even though that meant Lutz would pass him. So yeah, good stuff from him. But well, I mean, apart from that contact, of course. But yeah, no real person that I would lay money on for next season. And you were right earlier by saying that Elena could be the one that has the momentum into next season. But as we've seen with Aslan, it can all kind of switch around if you change cars. So it depends if someone you know, chooses to stick with the car or not. So you know, that's the kind of thing that I prefer to do when I was racing.
As the team owner there, I'm pretty sure they are staying at Audi.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, they've both been, I think, probably the quickest they've been in comparison to recent seasons. So it wouldn't make sense for them to switch up, I don't think.
Yeah, and yeah, Eligna is a weird one in the sense that, I mean, basically what I said earlier, that he is really fast. I think he is, like, on raw skill in this league, I would put him top 5, but I mean, this season I don't even know if he makes top 10 in the standings. Maybe with, I mean, if he wins this race, he probably will. Just, I don't know. I don't know where it's gone wrong for him, but he can win races, he can be there. Just hasn't gone for a title. I don't think he's even been in a championship fight yet. And I want to see that happen, because I've actually, I don't think I've ever seen him challenge for any title. He's been good in F1 before, but that was like seasons where he didn't attend 8 out of 20 races, and then of course wasn't able to go for a title. So every time he gets close to being the fastest in a league, like something happens. Either he drops pace or he doesn't attend races, and then it just doesn't happen. I want to see him fight for a championship. I'm sure he'll watch this back, and he could probably hear this, and you know, next season I want to see some fireworks, okay? Just bring the fight to your teammate, you know?
Yeah, I feel like he's always kind of slipping under the radar. You know, he's kind of there but not there. So yeah, I definitely join you in wanting to see a bit more of him at the top.
Yeah. Also, if I had, I mean, of course, I haven't mentioned him talking about the potential next season. Oh wait, yeah, what has happened there? He's just parked the car.
Yeah, he had a little running off the circuit in, I think, the turn 8, 9? Actually, I think it's 12. But yeah, he had a...
It's 9.
Oh, well, I guess I can't count, but yeah.
I've crashed enough in that to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest corner, especially in a car like the Mercedes, but yeah, I think he just went off all on his own. He took a bit too much curve, went off, and then rejoining, hit some bumps, and called it a day.
Yeah, it's actually an absolute OG meme into us. The "how do you lose your front wing at Barcelona" thing. That was from my first league race at Barcelona, which was season 2 of the F1 league, so 2018, early 2018 at that. And I said that sentence, and I think in the same practice session I completely died in that turn 9, and then that meme like was a thing for like a year, and it got constantly quoted at me. So you know, it's got some history, and Azalin adding himself to that list, not in a way he will like though. In chat we've got Molten saying that DRS will make a surprise surge. Yeah, I think so. They can make a surge. Maybe they'll finish top 20. In the team standings. Ben Lewis for season. Go on.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, no, you go. There wasn't.
Okay.
I was gonna say that there's not really much happening. So
we've got wild predictions. We've got a race where Higgsy is saying Ben Lewis for season 10 title, in my opinion, maybe in VVDL Cup. Maybe. It's also we've got Sonic saying if it rains the cables get wet, and that's why my internet's bad in this thunderstorm. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Also, Chris beating himself up. Understandably, he was in a good spot. Just kinda died. Also, I mean, Sam, of course, you know, he wants to win the 3rd title. The reason he hasn't this season is just that you know, he has been fast. He has had the same pace, I would say, as he had in the season he won, but just things didn't go his way in certain races. There was a big one in there in Bathurst. There was the massive stop-go 30 in Imola, and then of course you're not gonna win the title even if you are like in the top 3 on pace. And next season he gets to start with a clean sheet and try again to be our first 3-time champion after, well, every other 2-time champion has retired immediately. Anything for your defense?
not at all.
Okay.
Had to go one off on Mr. Nico Rosberg and
Had to touch some grass.
Yep.
That's what it was, I'm sure. And wait, what else has happened in Sam's season? Like something shocking. Right, Hungaroring. That was the one. That was the one where we finished P17. In Imola, even
turning point, I think.
Yeah. He was second, and then 17th, 10th, 5th, 2nd, 8th, 3rd, 1st. So, you know, it looked really promising at the start, and then just Hungary happens, and then he was on the back foot, then the recovery started going bad, and now we are where we are, basically. That's the gist of it. And Visser is now really close to Ruben, so I mean, Veldman can probably afford to do like 2 donuts on the final lap now, with the current state of his championship rivals. I mean, Ruben is having such a rough race. He's getting back to the gridded by Urian. So
Yeah, it's not been the kind of day that he would
back off.
want. Of course, it was going to be somewhat out of reach for him, I think, to get the championship, considering where he qualified. But yeah, it's not really his day has not really improved at all. Of course, that little incident with multiple incidents with Muller haven't helped on its way either. And yeah, Velvon has looked more or less bulletproof, I say, at the top.
Also, by the way, I'm just this is completely out there, but if I have to like name a dark horse where I think he could be in the fight, but I wouldn't expect it, that would probably actually be Justin, just because of the steepness of his learning curve so far. Because oh wait, this his teammate is interrupting me as Urian is in the slipstream and is now also ahead of our 2nd place in the standings. Nicely done from him. Good drive from the back of the grid. What I was getting at, Justin's improvement curve has been so steep Just probably because he's really fast in other racing games and doesn't need to learn how that works. He just needs to adapt to the car, so he's gonna learn faster than basically anyone who just picks up ACC as their first game. And now he's running in 4th. That is 12 seconds off a guy who is likely winning this championship. And if he can keep it going, maybe towards the end of next season, he will be able to just be on a podium on merit in a race where like all of the fast boys attend, absolutely try hard. Maybe he can be in the mix. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see. It's a dark horse for sure. I wouldn't expect him to win it or anything, but I basically just said it. So if it happens, I can like clip this and say that I called it. That's basically what's going on.
Yeah, I would say he's a safe bet actually for a driver that would be quite happily on the up. But I think Diakovsky is actually another one that is quite a safe prediction. I think he's been kind of one of those midfield, kind of top 10 drivers that are quite consistent, just not really making too many errors and just sat there doing their own thing. But I think in the last few races he's kind of come back up a bit more. Of course, I see in 3rd right now. There has been a little bit of drama around him with the likes of Sam, Ruben not being there to challenge, but 10 seconds off of Bowman is not too bad at all. And yeah, I feel like he's been kind of consistently sat there, collecting the points quite nicely and doing a respectable job.
By the way, I assume in chat Power Luxembourg, Lux is Tommy Azelin. I don't think we've ever talked about what's gone wrong this season, because you said it can't be worse than this season. Is it just lacking adaptability to the Merc, or is the Merc just a bad car, or didn't you have time to practice? What happened? It's really weird because you were in my, I would say, top 3 list to win this season, and I don't even think you've gotten a podium. That's wrong. You've gotten 3rd in Bathurst. But apart from that, it's been weird. What happened? And do you have any things you can change for next season to try and be in with a challenge? Because I really want to see it.
Yeah, I definitely say it's a bit of a weird one. The Merc is not one of the most popular cars in the game, and I think for relatively obvious reasons. It's quite a understeery heavy car, but then also is very quick to lose the rear end, which I think that weird balance might have just been kind of plaguing him throughout the season. And if he did come from the BMW the season before, that's quite a different kind of balance, a different dynamic actually, just to finding the limit and trying to push the car. So yeah, I think that might be one of the main driving forces, because if you can't get comfortable, then you can't get quick. It's that simple.
Yep, makes a lot of sense. Especially, I feel like it's important in cars like these with all of the weight shifts and stuff that you exactly know how to react to what your car does, because they tend to be quite lively in a lot of ways. So it matters. And hopefully he can do something now. He's dropped the fat wall of text. Also, hello to Danny. Said, "OMG, it's happening." I would now respond, "I don't know what you mean." To not commentators curse it, but I've been paid €2.5 by Ryan Noppen. So yes, it is happening. Veltman is definitely gonna be champion.
That might come back to bite him.
Oh, also, yeah, Tommy is apparently gone through an exam phase, which never helps. So, hope they went well, and hope next season you can improve with more practice. Did your request for money not go through? I have only received from Ryan. Go on. You would say.
No, I just I can't remember what I was gonna say actually. Never mind.
Wait. Oh, now I finally seen what Chris wrote 15 minutes ago. So he didn't speed or anything. He just didn't refuel on the pit stop.
Yeah, I said at the time if it could be a thing with not changing new tires or adding fuel, which yeah, easy to do along with changing brakes by accident. I've done that a couple of times. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's an amazing one. That's happened to me
Yep.
before.
Yeah, I mean, if you've not refueled, then you've basically just done a drive-through. Well, no, I mean, you've just done a full pit stop and gained nothing out of it. So that's completely race-ending, which is quite a shame for him, actually. He and Stanlex have both been really, really fast this season, which, you know, no discredit to them, but they've been higher than I was necessarily expecting. Yeah, Stanlex has not been around too much this season, but when he has been here, he was very quick. I don't know. Did he win a race, or was he just very high up? And he was quite high.
He came second in Hungary, but like Stanix has somehow managed to like simultaneously be my biggest surprise and my biggest disappointment of the season, because he, or like my biggest possible positive surprise in a way that, because he was like overperforming so much, and then he just stopped showing up. Basically, race 5. He just stopped driving. Like, he attended the first 4, and then when we headed to Brands Hatch, he just stopped showing up. He hasn't been there since, and it is a big shame, because he was really fast, and he was my biggest positive surprise going in, and now he's gone.
Yeah, a bit of a shame for the Lego car pairing, of course. I think if they were both around more often, I think in the constructors they could have been quite good contenders, actually, because they were both relatively consistent whenever they were here, and, you know, seeing mistakes like today aside, I think they were both very quick.
Yeah. I don't know what Andrew means by low-key saying they're terrible drivers, SMH. I don't know. The only drivers I call openly terrible are DRS. What? No. I don't even know why I started that. I think I got harassed by Marvin or something. Now he's not even a DRS driver, is he? No, he is. Okay. So, okay, no, actually I'm not openly harassing DRS drivers, I'm just specifically openly harassing Marvin Batch. That's what's going on. He's the only one I openly call terrible. Just to clarify that.
Season.
Yes, exactly. I think we're literally adding a rule just to prevent him having this many liveries. That's the only reason. And the only reason I'm giving him screen time right now is so, you know, so it was worth extracting his files into my documents folder. That's the only reason he is on screen right now.
Ouch.
Shame. I wish I had a bell for this.
Yeah, well, only 5 minutes left in this race. I don't think there's really much been going on at all, to be honest with you, for the rest of the time that we've been casting away. I mean, looking at the gaps, there's not really anyone that's that close. You've got Olive and Lewis, but they've been together for absolute decades, and then, funnily enough, Sam and Ruben not too far apart in P9 and 10, but yeah, it's all looking very nice still for our current race leader Iligna, and the one that is in potential championship winning position, Nico Bergman.
Yeah, as a surprise to everyone, it actually looks like it's happening. I was, you know, I was thinking that was gonna be the bottle, but it really looks like he's gonna do it. You know, it's. Yeah, I'm trying so hard.
Yeah, try to make those two euros worth it.
Yeah. I'm feeling.
Yeah. I think he's always been a driver that has been quite consistently fast, but has never really been able to kind of put it to the next level and go for that. He won spot, but he's really come into his own this season from being the Donington master. I think he's kind of bounced back from the, I guess, mild disappointments, I guess you could say, compared to those results of some more recent seasons. And yeah, he's really put in a good showing this season, being the one that is more consistent than those around him and not cracking quite so much under pressure, taking the last round out of the equation.
Actually, this might be a little bit mean, but it actually reminds me of Sam in a way, because after he won his title, and like even when he won his title, it was like it's exactly like Veld now. It's on the list with like driver who was quick enough to contend at the front, but like not clearly faster than everyone else, like Alex were, like Alex was, like you were, like Felix was, and then Sam had like 6 seasons where he wasn't the fastest. He just picked up podiums here and there, and then he suddenly came alive in the last one and won the title. And basically the same thing is now happening from Veld, even though the difference is he had not won a championship early on. So very similar stories, sort of similar drivers also in that they sometimes have their big bottles. Sam, we saw them this season, Hungary, Imola, and Veld also has those moments where he just gets where he has like frustrating races. Alton Park is an example, and then it goes bad. But on their day, both of them absolutely great, and now actually thinking of it, wait, Ruben is also one of those guys. It's actually insane. It's just 3 drivers, all with similar qualities and similar strengths, I would say, and I really hope they all show up next season and give it their best. But for now, we are, I think, 2 laps from the end, because yeah, we definitely are 2 laps from the end, with Illigna completely unthreatened, driving away at the front. I said I hope I don't have to mention him in this race, and I didn't have to. He just kinda, let his lap times speak. Or the gap to Nico is basically the one thing that we saw from him this broadcast, and it's gone up to 16 seconds over the course of this, and that is not because Nico had a bad race or anything. It's just he has been outstanding today, has Dom, so good from him. Let's hope he doesn't pick up a drive-through on the last lap. That would be the most wow way to lose a race win imaginable, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really much to say about Illigna. Yeah, he's just sat very nicely under the radar and has got on with it really well. But yeah, back to your previous point about Oldman, I always think that kind of interim phase is quite good for the driver to be able to, I guess, hone their skills without too much pressure on themselves, and build up that consistency that some people may struggle to get, whilst also still being able to make steps forward with pace and understanding new cars. And yeah, this season he's really come into his own. It's still looking very good for him.
And now we're getting the fight that we deserve, but it is for P9. It is Ruben versus Sam. 2 drivers with a mathematical chance to win the title. 2 drivers that are not gonna win this title though, and Sam is challenging Ruben here. I mean, Ruben's fallen off plus ratio a little bit this race. I think basically at the point where it wasn't really winnable for him anymore, he kind of stopped focusing and just went through the motions of driving the car. And it's showing. He's now on the threat from Sam, who got punted on lap 1. It's sad, man. I want to see Ruben put in the hours. He's got 6 hours in the last 2 weeks, and he still was in until the last race. Just please challenge for a title over an entire season. I mean, season 10 could be the biggest banger we've ever had if all of the guys that have shown promise, get it together and give us a brilliant show. Which doesn't mean that it hasn't been a brilliant show so far. I would like to go to the race leader and our future champion here, but I'm scared I'll miss Sam versus Ruben. So we'll wait for them to be in the backstretch. No, I don't think Sam can do this. In turn 4, he looks to the inside. Not happening. And now, rounding the final corner, taking all of the eyes, is Dominic Illigna. First win in quite a while. Absolute domination in the Audi in Barcelona. Brilliant stuff from him. And well-deserved. Hopefully this is a good omen to come for him to get himself into a title fight in Season 10. But the man who is going to be the most happy after this is Nico Veldman, because he is a ACC champion. He has been there, I think, almost every race since the second one of Season 1. He has been so so enduring, and he's been there for 2 years just putting the work in, and it's finally paid off. The number 29 is going to turn into number 1 next season. Well-deserved title for him, putting himself into the 2S history books. And then we've got Alex Diakowski getting his 2nd podium, and Justin on his rookie season in silver class wins the title ahead of Marius. Marius actually had an absolute sprint towards the line, 4.7 seconds the gap at the end, so good stuff from him, but just about misses out very narrowly. And congrats to Justin there, of course. Then Ben Lewis is 6th, Antoine Olivet is P7, then Visser P8, and Ruben manages to save himself across from Sam in P9 and P10, and both of them, I hope, will use the few weeks of break they will get to relax themselves, and then start into Season 10 with full energy. Jajura gets disqualified for driving the wrong way. Very nice. Müller, and then Tarkos. Oh, there's a photo finish, but it's with a lapped car. Noppen behind Chmelevski. Behind Tarkos, then Noppen. Chmelevski. Well, it's gone now. You saw it on screen. It's gonna be enough. And Nico is indeed our champion, and I have to refund €2.50 to Ryan Noppen. And with that, I think that wraps up the season. It's been great. I'm sorry that we have had a few more technical issues than in the past seasons. It's I don't know, like something with my internet is not right. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can make next season, because I am going to move houses and I have no idea. Like, I have no idea how the internet is where I'm going. So if it's not good enough for upload, I might just have to co-commentate, or I might just not do it at all. I don't know. We will see. But it's been a pleasure to do that, and it's also down to you, George, being there basically every week. Every week you could, and helping out was very nice. And
yeah, thank you. I've absolutely enjoyed this season. My first time commentating, and you know what season it's been. It's been a very competitive one with a lot of front runners that took it right down to the wire. So I've really enjoyed commentating alongside you.
Yeah, and the drivers really made it worth watching for us, and hopefully for the viewers as well. Just because, I mean, we've suffered through many seasons where, you know, you kind of go into a race and you think there's an 80% chance this guy is gonna win, and then it just happens. And it's been so different this season, and also I think last one as well. And it's an absolute pleasure when that's the state of your league, and I don't see a reason that would change. I'm optimistic we'll have even more. The only thing I'm scared of is that Sam is gonna take that loss in a bad way, in the sense that he's so frustrated by not being able to make it 3 titles that he will just grind it out completely, and then just run away at the front. But if he does that, then it's well deserved. So I don't know. We will have to see. There's a few weeks to come. I'm sure Chris and the others will keep you posted for the with infos for the new season, and yeah, as soon as they do, sign up or watch the races, or else Bottas gun emoji. Goodbye.